Hey guys, it is DewyHQ here from DewyHQ, and today you're watching a video on the Battlefield Hardline beta. It's an open beta, everyone gets to play it, so if you were running PC, Xbox One, or PS4, you could play the Hardline beta. I believe it was like a 10 gig download, but it's well worth it, so let's get into the video and see what they did right and see what they did wrong in this new game. First new thing I like about the game is that they've added 2 new game modes. This is the only 2 new game modes they've had available to us in the beta, and that is Heist and Hotwire. Let's start with Heist. Heist, they gave us a map which is based on like a bank in LA, and it's where the robbers have to break into the vault and they have to steal 2 loot packages, which is pretty much cash, and they have to get it to their helicopter drop points while the police are trying to defend the vault. So it's kind of like a Rush game mode modified version of it. But getting into it, the Heist game mode is a lot of fun. It's very action-packed, straight from the get-go. You're like in for like 30 seconds and then everyone's shooting everyone. It's just insane. There's a lot of ways to get into the vault. So there's like a rooftop way you can blow up the roof, and you can go in through the back restaurant, or you can go in through the vault itself. One thing I have to praise for them is all the interactable doors and being able to open and close all these different doors throughout the level. Makes it so you can kind of set up the way you want to put your traps down and whatever. And it's a lot of fun. The second game mode they have is Hotwire, where it's kind of like Conquest, but all the capture points, they're all cars. The way it works is that you actually have to be driving the car at a certain speed to actually capture points, and it works exactly like Conquest. You know, have the majority of the Conquest points, and the other team starts bleeding tickets. What makes it super insane is that you've got to drive around the map pretty much going at a constant speed, and it ends up being epic car chases, and like everyone's just shooting everyone. And the other thing I really like about this new game is that guns actually do damage to cars. Now, I get like in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, they were armored cars and you wouldn't really expect to take damage from it, but because a lot of these cars are civilian cars or cop cars or motorcycles or whatever, it just seems to be that guns actually do damage, and it's a lot of like, it actually makes sense. The other thing I've got to really praise them for is quick load times. When you just swap sides, it is literally like a 10-second load time, if that. It is super quick to get back into the game, which is excellent, can't praise them enough for that. That's pretty good. So the RPGs and LMGs are pickups, so that includes like rocket launchers and heavy machine guns. You can only find them around the map, which makes sense because they're kind of like the power weapons of the map. The new weapons kind of include the zipline and the grappling hook. Grappling hook you can get on buildings really quickly. Excellent for when you need to get into a certain area or the other team's got it locked down. But the zipline is really good for quick escapes, especially if you're the robbers and you're trying to get to the other side of the map really quick. The only thing I found a couple of issues with is there's only about 3 different things I found issues with. The first one is that when I was first starting to play, I was like, what is going on? Like, I was trying to figure out where the score was. It was really hard. I couldn't tell if it was counting up or counting down. I eventually found out it was counting down, and it's really, really small. It's kind of hard to tell where the score is. That's the only issue I've had with the score, is like the score is just a little bit cluttered, so it's kind of hard to tell who's winning and who's losing. The second issue I had was that across different maps, they have like different destruction levels, which is kind of weird because if you fire a grenade launcher at like let's say like a low-lying concrete wall, you'd expect it to explode or like get chipped out or something like that. On some maps, yeah, you know, it'll plow right through, but on the other maps, it'll be like, nah. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. I get that they're trying to keep a certain amount of cover, but there's some areas of the map that should blow up and they don't, which is kind of weird for considering this is a Battlefield game. So, and the third and final issue I only ever had was that when I was trying to record, I found that the frames per second output was a little bit kind of glitchy. It's hard to say. I'm not sure if anyone else has had this error, but when I was recording on my Elgato, I found that my Elgato would freeze at certain points and it just wouldn't record. It only happened on Battlefield Hardline, so I'm not sure. It might have something to do with the beta's output of the game. I'm not sure if anyone else has had this issue, but that's a personal issue that I had with it. Final thoughts? Like any other Battlefield game, if you don't play with friends, you're not probably going to have a lot of fun. But this game, I played a little bit of it on my own, and I've still had a blast with it. So it's only going to get better from here. They'll keep polishing it up, and it'll probably be a really great game. So guys, I'll see you on the next video. And if you liked this video, be sure to leave a rating or whatever you like. And I'll see you in the next video. See you then.
Those donuts look delicious.